I'm going to go, I'm going to do a little overview of what I think are some of the main cards, what I call the toolkit, for not just Wonder Earth, but for cube building of Grimm combined with Alice. I know I tried to build a Grimm cube and it failed, and I believe it's because of the 350 cards, the fact that you really need more. You need more. And so I think when we look at Grimm and Alice combined, that's when we can really start to think about what does a cube look like. Now, these are not all of the cards that I would say are the toolkit, because this toolkit was assembled in light of building a Dark Alice Twilight Wanderer deck, and I'll talk about that I think in a follow-on video. And I think this, going through the toolkit just from the point of view of Dark Alice, but really I think also a little broad, but there are many really good cards that are not included in this discussion. So I'll go through it's really a sample. It's not complete, but these are cards that I know are memorable and that I think are good and useful. And I want to start thinking about them. Where are they going each deck? And am I putting in singletons for cards that are banned? I think I am. And I think I've mentioned before, I have decided I want to place it of Winds. I forget the name again because I'm getting old. Anyways, let me go through it. As I talk to these cards, Severing Winds. I knew I would remember. It's an important name. It's what happens when you get old. Alright, so let's talk about Izanagi. So it's a myth. When it enters a field, you may remove up to 3 target resonators and or regalia your opponent controls from the game. When this card leaves your field for a non-field zone, put those removed cards. So you get them back. So you temporarily, it's a tucking card. So you tuck those cards. They can't really use them, so they got to whack this guy. And he's a 1100, so it's going to take a while. They're going to have to do something special to get rid of him. Okay, they can't just use cards like Thunder or something like that. This card gains plus 300 for each card in all removed areas that was removed by this card. So, target resonators and regalia your opponent controls. Yeah, so if you get 3, man, this guy gets big. So I think this guy is really good if I was going to go with white. And again, I'm going to mention Dark Alice a lot in this video because the context for this toolkit is Dark Alice, and because Will is so multi-color, multi-attribute in these early sets, and I believe in the later sets as well. Things like having a playset of Ruler's Memoria, which I would have, I'm pretty sure, in every build that I plan to build. I gotta crack more. I only have 2 for this cube in particular. And I don't really have that many. I have a bunch that I bought for the reconstructed battle box of Alice only, but those are staying in there. Alright, so let's keep going through other fun cards from these first 2 clusters. Sign to the Future, a card that could never be made in Magic because it's got to clear the crucifix. Your opponent controls 3 or more resonators than you. Remove 2 target resonators from the game. That's a trigger. It's a standby, so you pay 2. It's really like Fortell in Kaldheim. So you pay 2, you put it down, and then when it triggers, I believe you have to still pay the casting cost. Don't quote me on this. I'm a collector, not really a player. I'm not going to tell you that I know what I'm talking about, but I'm reading the card and that's what it reads. Alright, then Guiber, of course, which is famous or infamous, like they say in the Three Amigos, or infamous, and of course I had to hit the tripod, is fantastic. It's the Turbo Wyber deck was all based on casting a bunch of little critters. So let's just say that you cast... okay, so let's say the number of resonators that you've cast before this guy is 2 of them. Let's just say you drop 2 1-drops. Okay, so you reduce the cost by 4, and so this is also a 1-drop. So if you have 3 will and you cast 2 1-drops, you drop this guy for 1. I mean, that's crazy. That's just crazy. And flies 1200, 1200. I mean, I think it's amazing. Just for that, I would want to go in white in a deck. Okay. Put up to 1 target addition field and up to 1 target resonator from your graveyard into your field. So this is a fantastic reanimation spell. Put up 1 target magic stone from your graveyard into your magic stone area. I don't really know how stones land in the graveyard, and that's part of my ignorance. I'll have to look that up. Maybe somebody can school me in the comments. All right. Then a weapon. And it's a 3-drop, and it gives plus 500, 500. And if a resonator dealt damage by added resonator would put into the graveyard this turn, remove that resonator from the game, and you gain life equal to its defense. Yeah, so it exiles when it kills. That's pretty good. That is very, very good. Okay, a 2-drop, a field, you know, what would be called in Magic an enchantment. Continuous. At the beginning of your main phase, put hope counters equal to the number of resonators you control. So it's going to get big if you have like 3 resonators for 3 turns. That's 9 counters. So if you make 10 or more, you can banish this and destroy all resonators and additions your opponent controls. So it's really not quite an Oblivion Stone, but it's pretty close, and it's a clock. So the moment you drop it, your opponent's like, oh, he or she, yeah, my opponent has like 7 counters, 8 counters. Wow. Get to 10, boom, wipe out. Very nice. I think it's a very nice card. All right. Then these are 2 big dudes from Alice. One is in 7 Kings, and the other one's in Twilight Wanderer. These guys are always great pulls, very good pulls. And I believe, I think, I don't remember if I pulled this guy out of one of my God Pack pulls, because I had them laid out, but I'm beginning to use the cards, because the whole point of pulling cards, even from God packs, is to use them. All right, so our friend here, Bedivere, it's got target attack, so it can attack recovered J resonators. Okay. When this card enters your field, you may remove target resonator with 1000 or more attack from the game. Very nice. That's a great effect. And he's only a 3/7/7. Okay. And I'm only going to discuss the white attribute. I think it's called light. Don't quote me. In this particular video. So I think, yeah, given how I'm going and how slowly I'm going, I'm going to do a video per attribute. And then round off the small ones into one video. I'll package them, but this is going to be just on light or white. Arthur Pendragon, 5-drop, 12/12, cannot be targeted by fire or darkness spells or abilities. So this is equivalent in Magic to protection from red, protection from black. Resonators your opponent's control must attack this card if able. That's good. So this is kind of it's a draw. It'll draw attacks, and then when you tap it, target resonators gets a really big butt. So it can help you protect something in a big attack against you, and then if it can be attacked, it'll draw in your opponent. That's very good. So I think that's what I have. And again, there are many more pieces. It's a really nice angel from Alice, many other cards in these first 2 clusters, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them that I think are pretty good. Again, I started with a Dark Alice build, and then I was going through extra cards that I have that are not in books, and I found these jewels, and I wanted to show them to you guys. Alright, so that's it.